Charcoal in skincare? Let's talk about this. Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Weeza and welcome back to my world. Charcoal is known as the miracle ingredient. It can unclog pores and purify your skin and do all of these magical things. But does it actually work? Well, in today's video, we're going to debunk charcoal in skincare, and I'll actually let you know how charcoal works and if there's actually benefits in using charcoal skincare altogether. As well, I'll share a few of my favorite charcoal skincare products and let you know what's good and what's not and what you need to buy. So if you're interested in debunking charcoal in skincare, then keep watching. It wasn't until about 10 years ago that charcoal in the beauty and wellness industry really started taking off and gaining popularity. To this very day, beauty brands are still using the power of charcoal in their skincare products, be it facial cleansers, clay masks, soaps, teeth whiteners, and so much more. First, what is charcoal? Charcoal itself is the black residue that forms after you burn organic material. Things like plants and coal. Carbon itself is an element that's found on the periodic table, and that element actually makes up all living things. You're made out of a whole bunch of carbons. This plant behind me is made out of a whole bunch of carbon. All living things are made out of a whole bunch of carbon atoms put together. But it's super important to know that the charcoal used in skincare is actually called activated charcoal. And it is a lot different than the charcoal you use for your summer barbecue. So do not put that charcoal on your face. Activated charcoal, like these guys right here, are manufactured for medical use. To produce activated charcoal, we take regular charcoal and we heat it up in the presence of a steam. The immense pressure of the heat and the steam added to the charcoal cause the carbon atoms within the charcoal to rearrange and form these kind of tiny holes, tiny pores within the charcoal itself. These pores are extremely important. The pores within the charcoal actually increase the surface area of charcoal. An increase of surface area on something means that there's just more room in general to do stuff. And stuff for activated charcoal is removing toxins and impurities. And that's exactly what activated charcoal does. It comes into contact with impurities and toxins and binds to them via a process called adsorption. Now, we have to be super careful. The process is called adsorption with a D, not absorption with a B. There's a difference. Adsorption is the sticking together of molecules of a gas or a liquid to a surface of a solid. In adsorption, when two things attract, they continue to be two separate entities. They don't become one. While absorption is the passage of one substance into another so well that they become one new entity. So absorption, they continue to be two separate entities, while absorption creates one whole new entity. This can be a bit confusing, so think of it like this. Say you spilled a glass of water on the table and you need to clean it up. You go and grab a paper towel, and you put the paper towel on the spill. It will absorb up the water, and now the paper towel and the water have combined together to form a new entity, a soaking wet, damp paper towel. Do the same thing with a piece of regular paper. You put that piece of paper on top of that spill, and it doesn't absorb. It would be adsorbed. The water is loosely held to the paper, and when you lift the paper, the water just sloughs off and doesn't absorb the water like the paper towel did. When the paper is on top of the spill, the water molecules did attach to the paper, but when you lifted the paper up, the water sloughed off, so the water continued to be one entity, the paper continued to be one entity, and the spill is still there. Since activated charcoal has an increased surface area with all of these tiny little pores, the adsorption actually happens in those little holes, in those little pores. So think of activated charcoal like a lint roller. When you roll it over your sweater, it attracts anything that it comes in contact with. Dog hair, lint, anything else that may be on your sweater. That's how activated charcoal acts. Anything that it comes in contact with, toxins, impurities, will stick to it. Similarly to how that dog hair is sticking onto your lint roller. Activated charcoal was actually first used as an emergency antidote for poisonings. It's very commonly used to treat drug overdoses because of its adsorption properties. The activated charcoal binds to the drug in your body and flushes it out through your digestive tract, preventing it from going systemic through your whole entire body. It's activated charcoal's ability to undergo absorption that helps treat drug overdose patients, and it's also the reason why it's used as a good detoxifier and purifier in skincare. Let's see activated charcoal in action. I set up a little experiment to demonstrate how activated charcoal works. Let's head to the lab and see how it went. For this experiment, you'll need 3 mason jars, some water, food coloring, and activated charcoal. First, add the same amount of water to each jar. In 2 of the jars, I will add 3 drops of red food coloring and leave 1 without any coloring inside. Next, I will add some activated charcoal to 1 of the red colored jars and then close all of the jars up. We are now left with 3 jars, one with activated charcoal and red coloring, our experimental jar, another with just red food coloring in it, our negative control, and one with just plain water, our positive control. Now I'm gonna leave the jars at room temperature and let them rest for 24 hours. After 24 hours, here's what the jars look like. The jar that contained the activated charcoal and red food coloring is now clear. The activated charcoal removed the red color molecules from the water, which originally looked like our red negative control jar. This now looks like our positive control jar, which is a clear, transparent jar with no color in it. The greater surface area of activated charcoal led to more bonding sites for the red food coloring molecules to stick to. The color molecules got adsorbed by activated charcoal and the color came out of solution. We can conclude from this experiment that activated charcoal purified the water or removed the toxins from the water. Pretty cool, isn't it? These same theories can be applied to charcoal in skincare. For me, I've only ever used a charcoal cleanser and a charcoal face mask, so I can only talk about those 2 things today. Charcoal cleansers work on the surface level, absorbing oils, dirt, and makeup from your skin. Charcoal face masks work a little bit deeper to actually penetrate the pore and clear the dirt and toxins from your pores. I personally love charcoal clay masks. They just feel so nice on my skin, and I have dry skin, so clay masks are like my best friend. 2 of my favorite charcoal clay masks are these guys right here. This one here is kind of like the OG of charcoal clay masks. The Origin's Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask. This mask uses bamboo charcoal and white china clay to draw out dirt and oil from your skin. It has a bit of a wetter consistency when first applied, but it dries down and rinses off nicely. A newer option and one that I more recently found is the C'est Moi Purifying Charcoal Mask, and this guy is so good. For drugstore, I'm like so shook. This mask has activated charcoal and kaolin clay and additionally has some salicylic acid infused to it, so it not only purifies the skin but combats existing and future acne breakouts as well. This mask goes on a bit drier than the Origin one and also dries down and rinses off nicely. So like I mentioned before, these masks work like the lint roller. Think of a lint roller rolling on your face, making direct contact with toxins and impurities and sticking onto that sticky lint roller paper. The one downside of charcoal that I didn't mention before, but it's like a lot of organic compounds, is that charcoal actually doesn't know the difference between good and harmful substances, meaning that charcoal will absorb both healthy and unhealthy oils from your skin. For this reason, I only recommend using these charcoal clay masks once, max twice a week. You don't want to strip all of the oils from your face. There are some good oils that actually protect your skin. So to avoid dry, dehydrated skin, once or twice a week max with these guys. I do not recommend those charcoal peel-off masks that like went viral all over social media a few years back. Although extremely satisfying when you peel them off, are actually really bad for your skin. If you're not careful when you peel off these masks, they can actually create small micro tears in your skin and cause a lot more harm than good. If you do end up wanting to use charcoal in your skincare, I personally feel like clay masks are the way to go. Clay is super nourishing on your skin and won't damage it like those peel clay masks will. So my overall thoughts in charcoal in skincare is that yes, it works. Theoretically. Truth is that there's no actual scientific evidence to prove that activated charcoal works in skincare. Everything I mentioned to you in today's video is based on what we think may happen. Educated guesses is what we call them in the science world. Me, personally, I've seen success with using activated charcoal in my skincare routine, and based on that, I can say that charcoal is effective in skincare. Charcoal is relatively harmless, it doesn't have any major health risks, so if you've been on the fence and wanting to try charcoal in your skincare, I say just go for it. That's it for today's video. Have you tried charcoal in your skincare? How did it work for you? Let me know in the comments down below and we can get to chatting. If you have a beauty ingredient or a topic that you want me to talk about next, let me know in the comments down below as well and I can try to debunk it for you. As well, before you head out, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll catch you on my next one. See ya!